What's up, guys? Welcome to my herb room, which I have officially upgraded from seed starting in the nursery to seed starting out here. It just made sense. I really don't know why I didn't do it before, but whatever. I've started now, so I'm just gonna show you guys what my fall seed starting setup looks like. I've been getting asked lots of questions. When are you starting seeds? What does that look like for you guys? So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. It's actually really simple. I'm not starting near as many seeds in the fall as I do in the winter for the spring garden, and everything I'm starting today and I'm showing you guys is just going to be for my backyard garden. I have not honed in the crops that I'm going to do in the high tunnel yet, so that's still up for debate. And then not all the crops that I'm growing for fall am I starting today either, like my beets and things like that. My kales and lettuces all wait a bit longer. I'm mainly doing like kohlrabi, cabbage, broccoli, things that take a longer time. If you were doing Brussels sprouts, granted, I'm in zone 7B. You'll have to look and see what zone you are in, but things like Brussels sprouts, for instance, those take like 120 days. That's a long time. So just be mindful of that as you are getting your stuff ready for fall planting. But let's take a look. Also really wanted to show you guys my grow light. I get asked about grow lights all the time, and I can tell you I have tried lots of grow lights. The cheapest grow light you could possibly buy on Amazon to recently I just got sent one of the nicest grow lights I've ever seen. So I'm going to touch base and show you those and explain why I like them, which ones I like the best, which ones I don't, also figuring out price point. So just lots of information packed in a really short video that I hope is helpful. As always, if you guys have questions, just comment below and I'll be sure to get back with y'all. So first, let's talk about trays. Typically, when fall gardening is actually just really different than spring gardening. So typically for the spring, I only do the 128 cell trays because I am growing so many tomatoes, things like that. This just makes sense. And then I up pot them quickly. But for the purpose of not wanting to up pot them often, sorry, we had a visitor come join us. Say hey. Do you want to say hi to all your friends, June? Can you say hello? Can you say hello? No, she can't. So instead of doing I'm still going to do the 128 cells. I'll probably do this for like my beets. I always transplant out my beets. I just have a much better success rate doing that. But for everything else, like my cabbage and broccoli and things like that, I'm using these. They're much bigger. I honestly don't even remember. I think you can get these, maybe not this time of year, but I think you can typically get these at your hardware store. And so these are in a 6-pack. They're bigger. So I've got an entire tray full of those. And then I have some of these small 6 ones. They're a bit smaller, and these came from the Bootstrap Farmer, and I really like these. Any of the Bootstrap Farmer stuff I highly recommend. So I'm going to be doing a tray full of these too, and I think it's just going to allow me to let them stay in here a bit longer before I have to transplant them up until something else. Another thing I really want to hit on, soil, seed starting soil. When it is like getting ready for spring, you have all these great options like seed starting mixes that are really fluffy. They're not dense, like they're just perfect for your starts. You have a much harder time finding that at the end of summer trying to grow for the fall garden. These are two that I found. I'm actually going to mix them. You can do your own too. I just, for the sake of having a lot of things on my plate, I just went to Home Depot and bought these. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. I'm going to actually mix the two, but so far I've liked them pretty well. So we've got the Miracle Grow Performance Organics, and this is a container mix. It's pretty, I did my microgreens in these. It's not bad. Typically I don't ever buy Miracle Grow, but that was one of the options that we had. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, but this is an all potting mix. I opened the bag there, and I've already used the bag, and it's super light, and it's just exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to be mixing these two, and that's what I'm going to use for my starts. So y'all know in the past, I was working with a small end table that we had laying around the farm, extending grow lights from the ceiling in Ivy's bedroom. And looking back now, I'm like, why did you do that? Like, that was just the dumbest thing ever. I mean, I guess like it shows that you can literally grow food anywhere. But when Nathan and I like were buying this cart and putting it together, I was like, why did you ever let me grow in like our baby's bedroom? So we have upgraded since then. We got this. This is a 5-tier. Our Home Depot actually had all of these racks on sale. You could buy the silver or the black. So this one was over $100 and we got it for like 70 bucks. So we'll keep this out here, and this is probably where I will do an addition. Like I'll probably also grow out here as well as the greenhouse this spring, just because I have so many. And right now, as you can see, I'm only going to be using the 2 shelves. So the top, I just have my seeds that I'm going to be needing. I'll probably even put the soil in totes and just keep those on the bottom just to keep it cleaner. Thankfully, we've got concrete floors out here in the herb room, so I'm not worried about them getting wet or anything like that. But let's just go through a review real quick on the different grow lights that I'm going to have set up here. So this grow light I actually really do like. It was given to me from a friend. It's LED. It projects a good ways. You know, you guys can see how it all just clips and hangs up. It's really nice. It just doesn't do, as you can see, it's small. Like it just doesn't do a whole lot. But I like it. Something that I've got out in the greenhouse outside are those integrated T5 and T8 lights, which I have an entire box here. So those are just the long, like bulbs. They are definitely your cheapest option. I had really leggy plants, which in part was because I had the lights hooked right up underneath my shelves, and then the plants way down, so they were just trying to reach constantly. I'll link all of these grow lights below. The T5 and the T8 integrated lights you get off of Amazon are the cheapest, so they are going to produce the cheapest. If you're in a pinch and you need a grow light and you're just not familiar, you're not sure if you want to use grow lights in your setup for fall or for, you know, your spring and summer garden, I would choose this because your investment is small, but just know that you're not going to get the best. You're not going to get the best grow light. You're paying for the quality, so keep that in mind. So then the Harvest, or the Hidden Harvest Company, this would be a step up. So I would say the T5 and the T8 are very inexpensive, porous quality, if you will. Not that they won't work. You guys know I always want to encourage you guys, work with what you got. This is just kind of my setup and some reviews on some grow lights. Then this one's a good step up. Now, I received one in the mail, y'all. I have been growing for a really long time, and I have been using grow lights for a couple seasons now. So, I mean, I haven't seen all the grow lights that there are, but I feel like, you know, I got a good feeling. I got this grow light in the mail. Oh my word, my mind was blown. I even had my friend come over, and we like sit here for like 30 minutes being like, oh my gosh, this is the fanciest, nicest grow light we have ever seen. It is a Mars Hydro. I will link them below to where you guys can see. Now this would be the more expensive one, the more expensive option, but I'm going to tell you some of the features on here that I absolutely love and why I think that if you are doing this seriously, this grow light should definitely be a contender. It should definitely be something that you have in your wheelhouse, so I'll show you why. Alright, so here it is, Mars Hydro. It came with a timer, which was really nice, so I can just hook this up, set the timer on when I want it to go on and off. Then you can buy multiple ones and connect them with this little phone cord. It also comes with a humidity clock that I can actually just keep, underneath here and see, and that way I can change the humidity as needed. Now, the coolest thing, this doesn't, this is the bottom half of it looks. It doesn't, I mean, it is quite a bit bigger than this one, but this is my favorite feature on this thing. Alright, this is what the back looks like. Now, that on and off switch, that is just physically how you turn the grow light on and off. But that nozzle over here, this turn knob, sorry, I'm trying to work one-handed. there's a dimmer switch. And when you flip on that dimmer switch, which is on the back side of this, then you can control how bright or how low you want your grow light to be. So I was literally, I mean, this thing was so bright that we turned all the lights off in our living room and it lit up the entire living room. That was one, I've never had a grow light where you could adjust the lights. That was so cool to me. So you just turn it on, then you hit that dimmer switch, and it allows you to just, I mean, really just cater to your plants. I have never had a light that was so detailed like that. So that was like game changer to me. Something else I really liked are these up here you can adjust. Let me turn you around so y'all can get a better look. All right, so you hook these up and then you pull this, and I can also adjust as high or low as this goes, which is really nice compared to one like this. It's just a one option, you know, so I can start this down much lower, hovering right over my plants, and then as they grow, continue to move it up, which I really like this, and it was super easy to put together as well. So if you're looking for a long-term investment that you're just like kind of set, I feel like that is definitely the grow light for you. I'm so glad that I got it. I know that I will use it for many seasons. And that's something too, like, work with what you have, absolutely. But for me, I have my hands in so many baskets. You guys know I grow on my farm. I grow for Rabbit Ridge. I homeschool and take care of my children. You know, just like typical mom things that you do. So I have found over the years, I used to always want to do things the cheapest, and I realized that sometimes that's just not the best way. Like if I can invest in a grow light like this that is much nicer and it's going to last me much longer, it just makes the whole growing process a lot easier. Same with this rack. Like, oh my gosh, just buying this $70 rack has like already made this growing season so much easier than, you know, my spring and trying to grow microgreens in the house. Like, it was just madness, and I'm just realizing, like, it's not worth it. Like, just spend the extra bucks, like, you'll be fine. So I'm gonna get started doing all this, but I encourage you guys, work with what you have. But then if you have the freedom to be able to just invest in the small things, like the $75, you know, cart or shelving unit is going to last me season after season. I literally, so if you think about it, so this is 128 cell. I can fit 3 of these per rack. I've got 5 racks because technically, even if I wanted to, I could hook up a grow light from the ceiling to descend on the top rack. It's just a good option. Like, pretty nice setup. I mean, considering when I came from, it's a pretty nice setup. So I just want to encourage you guys, make it work, get a good system in place. Like, take my advice on it, trust me. Get a good system in place. This took me literally, well, so Nathan put the shelf together obviously, but that took him like 20 minutes maybe. Hook the grow lights up. We still have to run a extension cord to be able to, you know, hook up all these different grow lights on there. That's why I didn't turn any of them on and show you guys. But this is what my setup looks like for the fall. Super easy. I actually love that I can just come out here and like have my space, you know, like I've got my diffuser going, I got my plants, like just creating that atmosphere for me that makes the long work hours much more bearable. Like, just find things you enjoy, whether it's turning on music or whatever. That's something every time I was in the greenhouse, and you know, it's still freezing outside when I'm starting seeds, and I just like get my cup of coffee, got my music, like get my space the way I want it, and then it just makes like the work so much more enjoyable. Final look. So all I have left to do is I'm gonna come through and add another grow light on that shelf, and then that's actually all the shelving that I'll do. I'll take the totes and put the soil in like I said, and then that is my setup. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope that it just really showed you how simple your setup can be and how much productivity you can get out of it. I mean, this is pretty basic, pretty generic. You can do this in your garage. You can, you know, I mean, I'm out in my herb room, like the options are endless. You even could set this up in your baby's room and it would be probably a lot better than the whole descending from the ceiling thing. But I just would encourage you guys, just do it, just grow. I love growing in the fall, my all-time favorite time to grow. So if you've ever been thinking about it, you ever want to start a garden, just do it. It can be super simple and have so much reward. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon.